um, many others who I'm sure we will get a chance to take a look at. But to start it off, we've got Kazii versus Cubchuu. I personally am not familiar with either of these. Yin, you got anything? You got any data about these two?
Hey, you know what? All I got is 16th and 17th seeds, so you know it's going to be a banger. Of course, New Jersey, one of the strongest regions out here in the U.S., and I'm excited to see what these two got. Of course, you know, this is the beginning of the season. You want to start off nice and clean, really get the vibe for the rest of it, and hopefully set yourself up really good for the rest of the season. We got the fist bump, and now we are ready to go. Let's see who we got. We got a Game & Watch versus the Corrin. Ali, how you feel about this matchup just right off the dome?
You know, let's see. I mean, these are two of the most meta relevant characters in the game today. Game & Watch being a little bit better, I'd say, but Corrin I think has the tools to mess with Game & Watch a bit with those really safe aerials and the big range. The air-to-airs from Corrin are amazing, and Game & Watch a lot of times likes to be in the air, as we're already seeing a bit of. So if Cubchuu can sort of catch Kazii in the air with these aerials, it could be big. At the same time, though, Corrin doesn't really have a fast get-off-me option, and Game & Watch loves to do these big strings, so it's going to be a lot of hits happening, I'd say.
Yeah, and so far it's going really, really well for Kazii so far. Gets that chair in, and now we might be looking to take the stock here at ledge. Nah, Cubchuu gonna go ahead, work their way through. That is the one thing that I am a little bit worried about. You know, Corrin being a little bit slower, might have a little bit of a difficulty sometimes inside of the disadvantage. But so far, you know what? We got that pin to go ahead and use the movement of it instead, but gonna be catching that bomb and thus losing the first stock of the game and of the set.
Yeah, and you know, to your point, Yin, the pin being a really nice tool, but unfortunately there, Cubchuu gets lost in the sauce and uses the pin to get away, but then jumps into a forward air. So we've got a slight lead to Kazii here, but at this percent, Game & Watch is pretty light. We could see, I don't think an up air will kill just yet unless it's real near the top, but a back air, a pin definitely should do it. Stuck at the ledge though, nice get up attack to get out of there, and now we're back in neutral.
Yeah, and I love that. Some good patience from Kazii and catching that just very slow recovery back to the ground from Cubchuu. Now going to be caught up by the fishbowl. Such a wide hitbox. You know what? Corrin might have the sword, but instead you're going to be taking the pin, and thus that kick going to be doing it now. Only 44. Not too bad. Not too shabby so far. And getting a little aggressive there with the smash attack. You know, sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, goes for the big swing there. I kind of think I would have liked to see a little bit more of the air-to-air, which was working at the beginning of that stock. But, you know, sometimes you go for the big swings, and it could be, you know, trying to mix up options a bit, not get too comfortable. But that option was going to be covered, and now we've got a bit of a lead here for the Game & Watch. Again, it's starting to snowball.
Yeah, this is looking a lot worse than it was earlier. At this point, you really got to wonder what is the answer, and you know what? Kazii throwing it out there. Gotta respect it. You know, flip it upside down would have worked out, but alas, you still take a little bit of damage. We hold that. We got the turtle coming on in, and once again, that bacon.
Ledge.
It's such a brutal ledge tool.
It is, man. I mean, Game & Watch, being stuck in the corner against Game & Watch is like the 7 layers of hell, dude. You've got down smash to catch you, neutral get up, and spot dodging. You've got the bacon flying at you. A chair is always a threat, which we've already seen take a stock. And almost gets that down smash out, but very wise use of the faster jab option from Cubchuu there, trying to stop the bleeding a little bit. But could it be too little too late? Yeah, it is a little too little too late. Really good stuff from Kazii.
Just a little bit of a smaller hitbox, making it a bit more difficult to catch that hit with the landing aerials. So Kazii going to be able to go ahead and take that. I think that is one thing, is how are we finding some of these landing aerials against the Game & Watch? Because it felt like a lot of the time we weren't able to find it. And see, we do find it there with the back air, but then right after we get that whiff with the nair. And so just a little bit off on positioning. You really got to nail that. Otherwise, Game & Watch is going to cash in every time.
Yeah, I agree. I think into this game too, I'd like to see a little bit more of a reserved approach from Cubchuu. I feel like a lot of the times he was kind of just trying to get in with an aerial and end up throwing himself into a bad spot because Game & Watch has some really strong anti-air tools. Specifically, like, you know, you've got that up B, you can short hop with the neutral air or catch a landing with like a down smash, which we saw during that game. So yeah, I'd like to see it a little more reserved here, but on Smashville you've got less room to run around, so maybe that'll play to Cubchoo's advantage using that big sword to cover more of the stage. And it's pretty even to start things out with a slight percent lead, so we'll see where this goes, Ian.
So far, both players doing a really good job of utilizing that center platform. That is kind of the one scary thing I am worried about that we're seeing come through from Kazii is the ability to cover a lot of that with the Nair. Does catch that roll in with the bomb, gets the trampoline, and look at that, utilizing that center plat, but thankfully for Cubchuu, able to go ahead and get on through, and now we're in advantage state. What can we do with it here?
Yeah, exactly. The raw pin will work out pretty well, but I do want to shout out, you called that out well, Ian, with the center plat play, because that down smash covers a lot of that platform. But we do see Cubchuu ending up taking the first stock, so let's see if he can take that lead and run with it, and it doesn't look like it due to the picture-perfect edge guard from Kazii. We've got a very even game 2 here.
Nah, we're just right on top of that and snuffing it out. Now the fish is coming on in. You know what? We got some nice, good aquatic pets, and they're going to do some really good damage against Corrin here. 40%. Got the bacon on deck. We've mentioned it several times now. That ledge game is nothing you want to be playing with. Otherwise, you are up to 98%. The drag down with the turtle, even catching the attempt at the tech, and allow for Kazii to be in a beautiful spot here.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Oh my gosh, picture perfect Game & Watch play there. It looked like for a second that Kazii did the bacon a little bit too long. I thought there was a time where he could have snuck in with a chair down smash. However, that led to that pretty sick down, back air drag down, and that was a 9 coming out. All of a sudden, this even game has turned into about similar to game 1. I'd love to see Cubchuu adapt and turn things around, but Kazii just kind of has his number right now.
Yeah, that being said, I really thought we were going to get that back air there, but Cubchuu unable to find that location on the hit, but does find it here. The wing's going to go ahead and send him right out, and the pin, the timing, beautiful there. Cubchuu now does have a chance, but you got to be very careful. Game & Watch has some brutal kill options. If you could just find that down smash, find one good Nair drag down, this could all be over.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like that pin on the recovery. You don't really see Game & Watch's recovery get messed with too often, but that pin is such a good tool for that. Cubchuu definitely has a chance here, but it's like you said, Yin. I don't know if he'll be able to get enough hits in between the barrage of attacks from Kazii, but as I'm saying that, we're up to 50, and again, we mentioned it before, Game & Watch is pretty light. This is a few more aerials away from being pin death percent, I'd say. But it is, in fact, key death percent, yeah.
Gonna go ahead and pin them down with that key, and that is going to do it. Kazii going 2-0 for Cubchuu. It was starting to look very good. You mentioned the fact that all of a sudden, we started seeing a lot more hits come through. Of course, the amount of rage for Corrin and that lighter weight, there was a possibility. I think overall, it just came down to we didn't see the right timing and positioning come through for the Corrin until the very end. And at that point, Kazii really ramped up that momentum and made it a much bigger hill to climb than it originally started off as.
Yeah, really good stuff from Kazii. And, that great gameplay has potentially booked him a spot with Jackal, and I think that's the round before winner's quarters. So that could be an interesting set. I think Kazii was playing really well, but Jackal's a whole different beast. And yeah, getting to the end here, it was just, you can get some hits here and there, although this is the end of game 1. And yeah, there was that catch with the down smash on the landing. Catching those landings was one of the themes of this set from Kazii. Still good stuff to Cubchuu, though. I feel like we could see that he really did, very strong player, knew what he was doing. I think Game & Watch can sometimes be too much for anyone, so definitely nothing to feel too bad about as he goes into losers here.
Yeah, I will say the other worrying thing, as you mentioned, Kazii is going to have to fight off against Jackal. Sometimes you go into one of those maybe hoping that the opponent isn't going to really know how to handle a character, especially a character as strong of a matchup check as Game & Watch. But there ain't no way with Jackal. Jackal is a very experienced top-level player, and Game & Watch is all over the meta right now. So Kazii is going to have to come in with a lot stronger solutions than would normally be necessary to take on his round 2. That being said, you know what? It's Game & Watch, and Kazii was playing pretty nice.